Coming to you from the Strings and Things studio in Ventura, California, this is the Strings Unraveled podcast.
Okie. Hello, we got Pat through the holidays.
Okay,
Yep.
and congratulations to all of you listeners, because you are somewhere we're not yet, which is
In
you're in
2021.
2021.
How's it going?
Which I don't think there's any magic about that. I just think
It's just a feeling.
that's good.
Yeah.
You made it to 2021.
We have a couple days left. It's the 29th when we're recording this, so we got 3 days left?
You're ahead in time.
You're in
for
the
us.
future.
How's it going there in the future?
I hope that
it's
everything's
good.
not on fire. Well, we made it through the holiday season mostly. I mean, we got New Year's left, but that was an achievement this year, I feel like.
For real.
Yeah.
Like that, I mean, it just...
And we just had our little, tiny holiday party between the three of us and gave each other gifts, and now we're all feeling happy. And so we also all have dessert, so we'll try not to chew into our microphones, but we have cake and stuff. So
what is that? There's like a name for that. When you can't stand the sound of other people chewing.
My son has that.
Some sort of phobia.
Sometimes he cannot be at the table with all of us because even though it's not even allowed food, just the overwhelmingness of 5 other people making chewing noises just sets him off. And usually that tells me he hasn't been taking his medication.
It's a form of misophonia, which is a disorder. Suffers hate. Thank you. Have a hatred of sounds such as eating, chewing, loud breathing, repeated pen clicking.
I think most people have that to some degree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The tapping of someone like shaking their leg.
Mm-hmm.
My dad
That's
always...
not annoying if you're the person doing it, though.
Oh no,
of course, because
it's
my son who cannot stand the noises of everybody else doesn't
probably
hear.
makes the most noises.
Yep.
Sometimes, yeah. But I can see he doesn't. Most of the time, he has his headphones on, so he can't hear what he's doing.
I love the questions that Google generates that have most asked, right? The second most asked question is misophonia a mental illness?
No,
I don't think that really does justice to mental illness.
Right.
It is not recognized by the DSM. Was that DSM-4 or ICD-10, which are the classic diagnostic tools of doctors.
Well, there you go. We all learned something today. Who wants to start with what they are working on? And you have knitting in your hand. I haven't pulled mine out yet.
All right, I'll go first. Currently, I am working on my weekender sweater, which I thought I would be wearing this December, but my break knitting time seemed to always be taken over by the thing that was the next deadline. So I got pretty far. It's from when I announced I was working on it. Maybe that was back in August. I got through the body, and I am working on the front, which I probably only have about 2 more inches on the front panel before I get to do whatever the next thing is, which I think is some short rows. And I still love the tart, the Malabrigo tart, a sweater. Yeah, Mad Tosh. Oh, thank you. Not Malabrigo.
That's all right.
It's M. It
One
feels good. It's a pretty color. Madeline Tosh tart, and it's lovely.
Are you alternating skeins at all, or are you wary of that?
Yeah. So the
Madeline Tosh is pretty notorious for inconsistencies.
Right. The seed skein. I alternated 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 because there was 1 skein from the Stash Exchange last January, and then I alternated into the next one. I'll have a hard break in the back, I guess, because I don't have anything to alternate, or maybe I'll alternate 2 balls. I haven't thought about that yet, honestly. But yeah, I am trying to be conscientious of mixing the skeins so I don't get any hard.
Yeah, it looks
hard
great
lines.
So far.
Thank you.
It's very well blended.
Thank you. It's the kind of thing you don't necessarily see till you block.
Yes, until you step away from it and you're like, oh no.
You're so close to it you didn't see.
Yeah. But you guys are fresh eyes, so that's nice to know that it's looking good. I am also still muddling through the Stark Baking Mad Shawl, which muddling through is not fair. It's fun when I address it. I'm still in clue 2.
You're ahead of me.
Woo!
I'm almost to Clue 2.
I finished Clue 2 and then I
Ooh.
stopped. So
I'm very distracted by what Katie's working on. Can't wait till she goes.
That color.
The-
It's okay, not looking.
The shawl is really fun when I do it. And thank you, Xenia, if you're listening out there, for posting your picture of your finished one. It was not a spoiler. It was an encourager. Because
Absolutely.
now
At
that
this
I know
point,
where it's going, yeah.
It's the carrot that makes me want to keep going.
Right. I am very interested to see how my colors are going to work up in that finished project. And I'm sure on Ravelry there's plenty of other pictures. Xenia's just was the first one I noticed complete. And then I have my other dream project, which is a blanket made out of Malabrigo Rios.
nice.
And I kind of rediscovered it. I think when we were recording last time, I found a ball that I had wound in my project bag, and so that encouraged me to get back into making my squares. And I'm kind of on track to really make some progress on that. So I'm really enjoying that one. Granny squares can be so soothing.
What
That's
a perfect
why I am
segue. Karin, what are
loving-
you working
What are you
on?
working on, Karin?
So I have not done any true granny square type project. I've since I was probably in 8th grade.
Wow.
And that was when I first did some crochet, and it was awful. It wasn't pretty.
Well, this is pretty.
But this is
That
so
looks very
pretty.
fun.
Okay, so I'm working on the Revival sweater by HG Designs Crochet. I believe that's Heather, and I forget what her last name is. And I love it. I took some. I'm repurposing stuff that I'd bought for something for my husband, but I'm going to do something different for him.
Sure.
Because this is
He'll never
important.
know.
He'll never know because he doesn't listen to the podcast. But
Hi, Jim. Are you listening? Hi, Jim.
So it's granny squares, and I am doing a little different in that she has you do different colors that make the center and the concentric circles out, and then you have a choice to either have your it's like 3 rounds, all these little mini granny squares, and then your 4th color can either be the same that you're doing, or it can be whatever your background color is going to be. But you don't do the 4th until you're ready to join them all, and it's a continuous join as you go.
Ooh, I
That's
love
awesome.
that.
So but I don't really think it's as you go, because if you're doing it your 4th round, sure, it's as you go, but you had to do, like in my case, I ended up with 48 mini squares.
Right.
But you know what? You sit down and they're like eating popcorn. They're so
they're little. And
you're only
fun.
doing 3 rounds over and over and over again. They just did not take any time at all. I used 2 different colorways of Felici worsted by Knit Picks. So I did the self striping, and I let them.
That's awesome.
And all I did was I've got 2 different colorways, and I alternated a stripe of one, a stripe of the other, back and forth. But because they're self striping, I kind of then sorted through where
they went,
where the stripes would, the similar colors, so it'd be more of a gradient row.
It looks
awesome.
fantastic.
And the background color is peachy from I didn't even know this color existed until a year ago. This was stashed from before or early 2020, probably.
Peachy, as in impeachy.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's what I use it for. I made I made a little sample of a peach, but this one I'd gotten I don't know why. I was going to make a big poof out of it.
Oh, I remember that.
And then I'm like, yeah, forget the poof. I've got a sweater's worth.
Yeah,
Oh,
use
nice.
it for a sweater.
I'm going to use
It's
this for a
so
sweater.
pretty.
So
It's a fun background color.
it's a gradient peach orange color. And
could
thank you
use
so much,
that-
Gail Glaspie of GG Made It,
Oh, she's the best.
for making orange accessible.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I never thought I could wear orange because it just seemed, I don't know who could wear orange, but it wasn't going to be me.
You could totally wear orange.
But I think I could. I'm going to have to because I'm
You're
making an orange
making-
sweater.
There you go.
Me think of Shelly Can and what I don't totally understand it, but the making your like nude sweater. Have you
Oh, I
seen
know.
that?
I haven't seen that.
It's a knit along she's leading, and people are making like it seems. I never quite got the grasp of it, but it's hilarious because her gift for it is like a natural color sweater, so it's ranging from browns to peaches, and it's kind of a censored bar, and it lowers the gift,
but it's just
and then it
sweater.
shows nipples. No, there's nipples on the sweater.
That's
It's
hilarious.
great.
But I
But
like.
that peachy color is a very pretty color.
So what's
for you.
interesting about using the term natural or flesh color is
I avoided the word flesh.
I know, because everybody's flesh is different colored,
Right.
and I like that. I think I'd like this. Natural actually deals with the color of the yarn,
Sure.
not.
No, I really meant from brown to tan when I used
When
that
you
word.
used it, yeah. No, I was
Yeah,
just thinking
there
about
you
when you see natural on a yarn ball.
Yeah.
That's the undyed color, but
Mm-hmm.
anyway,
Those
so-
the granny square sweaters like that are like really popular. I've seen with like the youth right now.
The youth.
see,
The youth.
The youth of
I've
America.
seen like I'm on TikTok like browsing around and I see
Mhm.
people who are like, I mean TikTok is more for like not more for kids, but there are a lot of younger people on the app, right? So it's
Mhm.
all these like young teenage girls who are learning to crochet and knit that I see that are making granny square sweaters like this, where it's just squares that are patched together into some sort of shape,
Mhm.
and they sew it together and they have like a a sweater out of it or a cardigan, and it's fun to see. It's such an easily accessible project for someone new.
and the design aesthetic behind
Mhm.
HG designs crochet, and like if she has an Etsy shop, if you find her on Instagram, is she takes these granny squares and they're the main part of their body, but she adds like this great big cowl neck,
Mhm.
and it's cropped now, but it's easily translatable. She
You
goes,
just
if
add
you need to
another
adjust,
row.
if you need to adjust it, here, add another row, or make it go wide,
Right.
because it would be way too short and cropped for me. But if you look on Ravelry, there's a lot of them where people went longer,
Mhm.
and they're two pieces, and the sleeves are two pieces, and the ribbing on the bottom I could make a little bit longer if it's still not wide enough. But look, the top's already done.
It's probably a fast project.
It is a very fast project. I started this a week ago,
Yeah, that's
and
fun.
I already have both the front and the back. As far as the granny squares joined together, I've got the let's see, what step am I on? I am on yoke and shoulder shaping. I've got that done, and I'm working on the sides,
And
the
what
side seams for one of them, and then I'll do the same thing for the other panel.
What a great way to use it, like scraps too.
Oh,
you
it's a
make
great
all your
way.
granny squares different colors in the center, and then you just need some sort of, background color to join it all up. I think it's awesome.
And being able to see even the Malabrigo, it's the Rios. So in a peachy, but there's so many.
That color is a Malabrigo.
It's Malabrigo.
Oh,
Wow.
I didn't know this color
making it
existed.
more accessible.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was. I kind of wandered off into my own brain there for a minute while you were
So
describing
the peach goes from a creamy pale, beigey, warm beigey, to pink, to like a
orange.
sherbety orange. Yeah, so it's got this range of colors that just really is beautiful to look at.
It's
Cute.
really pretty along. Like I can see the tops of the granny clusters on my side.
Mhm.
So it's all the V's. It's just so pretty. Okay.
Yeah, it really pops.
Oh,
you
yeah.
see the shell part of it really pops.
Oh, I'm not even talking about the shell.
Just
like
the
the tops
stitch.
of the stitches.
Just the tops of the stitches.
That
yeah.
pretty braid. You can see every
Mhm.
color that's in it.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
So
Nice.
that is what I'm currently working on, and I'm still working on. I'm making progress on my Gramps Revive, my second one.
Mhm.
Ooh, what colors are you using?
I'm using my self dyed purple sparkle
Ooh.
part, and I'm almost
Oh, yeah, that was so pretty.
and I'm almost done. I finished one skein. Well, I'm actually working on two. Because I dyed 3 skeins, 2 skeins. I dyed 2 skeins, but they didn't come out in the same, or 3 skeins, but they didn't come out in the same. Even though I dyed them literally together right next to each other, one just got more dye than the other.
Mm.
So I am trading off 2 rows of one, 2 rows of another, and so it has a very subtle stripy part, but within the purple.
Uh-huh.
But I'm almost done with that. It's all joined. I've got 5 out of my 6 inches for the body before I'm ready to do a narrow stripe,
Nice.
but
You're quite
it's one of my
far.
So I have one. I've got that one remaining skein. Yeah, I guess I did 3. I don't know how many I
I
did.
have no idea.
Whatever. But that'll be for sleeves.
Nice.
I was wishing to snatch your sweater. I was wearing some outfit this week where I was like, that sweater would be the perfect
pink one?
color. Yeah, your original Gramps. The perfect
And
color.
it was in my office until a couple days ago.
Oh.
I
I
took
don't even remember what outfit it. Like I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
what belonging of mine did I
it
want
would
to put
work
it
great
with.
with what you're wearing.
Maybe it's this.
It's that
Yeah.
flamingo
I think
pink
I
color.
was
It is.
planning this outfit last night, and I was thinking about
Those
your
colors
sweater.
are totally it.
Because
That-
I was like, I'll wear my gray sweater or this other sweater. They're all ready to wear sweaters because that's the first layer because it's very cold
See,
right now.
I think my mother-in-law thinks I'm planning on moving out because of my big pile of blocking that was like literally a huge pile that looks like a big mess of clothes that have got thrown in the back of the car.
Uh-huh.
It's all in your car.
It's all in the car, and I never brought it into the house because I
Mm.
left my blocking boards here. But she looks at that and she keeps thinking, "Are you moving out?" No.
Is
Not
it
yet.
helping? Is that not helping? Or
Are you gonna treat me nicer if I say no? I
it
shouldn't
was
say that.
cold.
She really is okay.
Yeah.
So we won't go there.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It was cold this morning.
she is a loved one.
I
41.
went to get in my
Was it
car. It was like
41?
8:00 when I left my house, and there was ice all over my car.
Ooh.
And when I opened my door, it made like a crunchy noise because my door was like had ice on it.
It
Crunchy
was
noise.
colder in Fillmore then.
It
'Cause,
was.
Yeah, it was cold this morning. I was up very early and it was cold. It was a 2 sweater layer, like actually all the way through the rainy like afternoon rain because it wasn't that cold in the beginning of the day yesterday. It was just wet. Well, in Ventura.
when I had to take the trash out and it
Last
was
night.
last night
Yeah,
and it
was
was
cold
raining.
Yeah.
last night.
But but I didn't want my good socks to get wet, so I had to take them off and go in the cold
Oh,
cold
gosh.
cement. I'm like, dang, it's cold.
So is that everything that you are working on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, other than some cross stitch, but I want to save some of that for the next segment because
Right. Well, I am working on my Christmas Eve cast on.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. This is Le Pouf, is the name of the pattern, by Beata. I think her last name is Jezik. She's the mastermind behind Hedgehog Fibers.
Oh yeah.
So this is her pattern. It's a free pattern for a cardigan, and it's got like a fade, and then it's got like balloon sleeves. It's slightly cropped. It's super cute.
What is this color you're working on right now?
Is that the one you dyed?
No. So
Oh.
it's
If
seven-
you can dye like that,
No,
you've
no,
been
I can't.
holding
But
out
you
on
No,
have
this.
you have because you have the big chunky yarn that you dyed like that.
Yeah, similar colors, right?
Yeah.
It's
You make
for
your hat
my
that goes
size.
with
I
it.
needed 7 skeins of yarn, so I have 7 colors to work from. And I should have gotten 8 because it would have made my life a little less stressed because I'm like pretty cutting it close with yardage. But it's fun to work on. I am not going to say what the yarn is because when I purchased it because I liked it and it was something I could afford. And then I took it home and I wound it up and then I went on Ravelry to like look into the yarn. And most of the colors that were available in this yarn, it turns out were sort of stolen from independent designers. And this is like a big box store brand.
It's such a good color.
They're beautiful colors, and I would like to try and figure out maybe like what they
Okay.
were inspired by. But
the what it's similar to, you can say the company
Yeah.
that they stole from.
I don't know what they are.
Well, one of them was.
No, but that's not necessarily like what she's using.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm using. So I have 7 different colors of this yarn, and had I known that before I purchased the yarn, I would not have purchased the yarn. But since it's a big box store that's benefiting off of what seems like small business inspired colorways that they just kind of pulled from there,
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not going to name the yarn because I shouldn't.
Okay.
But I spent the money on the yarn and I wound it, so I'm going to use it. So, but it would be a great stash buster because you're using sock yarn held doubled and you're fading, so you do like 2 strands of your first color and then you swap it out and you do 1 of each and then you swap it out and but super fun. And then I have like this super dark blue for the end.
Oh.
And
wow.
the way that I'm sort of going off of the pictures from her pattern because the sleeves almost look like color dipped. Like you just save that really dark blue for the end.
Oh, that's so cool.
They're very cute. So I'm excited about that pattern. And then other than that, I have a pair of just basic self-striping socks that I cast on, and that's for when I don't want to think too hard. I just knitting around on those, and that's pretty much all I'm working on right now. Anne's gonna open a tape measure.
So that's what that sounds
actually,
like.
Okay, that's a good sound. That means that's that anticipation
Possibly
sound
making progress.
that you might be making
Ooh,
progress.
1 inch to go.
Yeah,
Nice.
see? That's so much better
Sweet.
than the doubt of I don't have a tape
That's a
measure
tape measure
with me
closing.
and how close am I and I'm going to slow down because I don't want to go too far. And
Yeah.
I'm too lazy to get up because I'm watching TV right now.
I understand.
So
I usually have a tape
cute
measure-
unicorn that just gave me hope.
I usually have a tape measure nearby where I knit because my cat thinks it's a very fun toy. So I have like a cheap one that I keep, and then like she likes to play with it, so I'll dangle it, and she can't really break it because it's kind of plasticky, right? So she can't really tear it up. If I let her play with it for too long, she could destroy it. But
I have
Children
it's a
can
very
ruin
fun.
them.
I have a
toy.
quick cat question.
A cat question.
A cat question.
Okay.
Has your cat ever gotten mad at itself and hissed at itself?
I don't know if I would know what that looked like if it did.
So our cat was on top of
She
his.
gets mad at me and hisses at me.
Well, occasionally
Just me.
we've done.
Oh,
Our cat. Okay, so my youngest son is like 6'2", and our cat will charge him. And my son will put his hand on like and tell him no, and the cat will keep on charging. He's not afraid. No, he was playing with one of his toys, and he got really mad at it, and he just hissed at it,
Well, that's
at his
funny.
toy. And he took a swipe at it, and it didn't do what he wanted, so he hissed at it again. I'm like, he's having a hissy fit.
Yeah.
That's
Baby, you
funny.
need a nap.
Well,
Anything else? Are you working on anything else?
that's it. I think we get to jump into what we finished.
All right. Do we have enough time for this?
Well, here's what I have a lot of things, and you sound like you have a lot of
I
things.
have a fair number.
Karin,
of
do you have a
things.
lot of things?
I'm really only counting the things that I finished in the last couple. Oh yeah, I guess
Couple
actually-
months. Were you gonna say couple
1
months?
Okay, 1 month.
Well, I was wondering if we wanted to do like a round robin thing, so no one person talks for
Ooh, I like
15
that.
minutes straight.
Yeah,
I
so
like
we can
that.
each go around and do one at a
Okay,
time.
okay.
Okay, you go first.
Me?
Yep.
Okay. I finished 4 of the cutest little simple tote. I use them as my gift bags in our
They
exchange
are
just
super
now.
cute. I really love mine.
Thank you. I got all the fabric at our dear friend Super Buzzy. For Katie and Karin, theirs is this like very cute kind of retro fabric that looks
love
like
it.
pink and red and yellow ribbons are kind
Mhm,
of tying
very
bows
vintagey.
in a sort of cute plaid.
My heart vintage.
I made myself one out of,
Don't we always do that?
of course,
Because if you're gonna
I have
gift,
to
gift
test
to
it.
yourself first.
Well, I made myself
Yeah.
2. I made myself
Oh.
in a green colorway of what you guys have because I think it'll be cute next year. You put your Christmas
Mhm.
project in
Uh-huh.
there.
I would
you
use it year round.
you guys both like
Doesn't have
Christmas
to be
more
Christmas.
than me too, I think. So I made the 4th one out of who's our girl? You love her.
You know.
T starts at T.
Tula Pink?
Tula Pink.
Oh.
Ah, okay. Her like what's the sewing line called? Home.
I have no idea.
Holiday homies.
No, not that
No.
one. The sewing line.
The
that
sewing
has,
line.
like,
Oh
notions.
yeah, it's got like sewing machine. It's got a hand with a needle.
Yeah.
and-
Well, anyway,
I
it's
can't
cute
think of the name of
fabric,
it.
gray background, blue with rotary cutters and nice
Cute.
scissors.
Oh,
and
cute.
all kinds of sewing supplies all over it. And I made that one in the effort to learn the pattern so I could help my son make his gift for our annual Christmas Eve homemade exchange. And he
Nice.
made 5 of those to
That's
complement the
fantastic.
thing
I
I'll
want
talk
to
about
make
next.
these. They look fun.
They're so easy. I found it's a tutorial on Pinterest. Of course, I had to put my own tweaks on it. Very, very simple, super duper fun. You
Nice.
can make one to go with every project
I love that.
because you don't have enough. Never do you have enough tote bags.
I honestly don't.
You know,
Like, when I need one, I don't have one.
Right.
Or I don't
Mhm.
feel like digging it out. I
Well,
guess.
there's that. Or they're all full.
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean you stop making projects. You just
Right.
need
That just means
Another-
you make
another
more
tote
project
bag.
bags.
more
Yes.
project bags.
Okay, so that's my first offering.
Okay, Karin,
of
you're
finished
next.
objects.
So I made something I finished this year. Well, there's 2 sweaters, but
Not this
I'm only
year.
gonna talk about
It's
no.
just this month.
Oh, this month.
Just what you finished.
Did you
this month.
finish 2? You might have
I
finished 2
finished-
sweaters this month.
We
You
can talk
did
about
a
one
lot.
right now, and then
Yeah.
we'll come back around.
Was it this month or last month?
I think it
Beats
was
and
this month.
Bones?
Yes, that was
Yes.
this month.
Oh, you finished that.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I finished Beats and Bones. It's blue. It's blue teal. Okay, for anyone who, if you ever wonder what my favorite color is, just know that if you don't know me, if you have to ask, but I'll tell you now, so you'll know next time. Is teal. Anything with teal, blue, aqua,
Your water bottle, your
my
glasses,
pants,
your pants.
my pants. I think I was wearing these when I tested out. So it was cold, and I pulled it off the blocking pile. I still haven't blocked it.
It was
body
still damp
blocking.
when you...
No, it's just no.
Oh, it looked so nice in the picture.
I tucked it. I did have all the ends woven in.
A little bit of steam. That's all you need.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
And blocking can be the first washing.
That's true. That's true. I discovered I don't think I've ever worn a full yoke style,
like
a color work yoke sweater. I've had color work with raglan, and but where this was the full rounded yoke, because I had to pull the part that's the yoke. I have to pull it down over my shoulders a little bit.
Maybe you will want to block that.
So I want to block that, because otherwise, if it's not blocked well, it creeps up and does that wrinkly part around your neck and makes you look like you've got extra chins, more than I already have.
We all have a couple.
Whatever.
You have one chin and then skin.
Chin and skin. That's it. So that's it's, and I've gotten compliments, and
it's gorgeous. But,
the first thing on my list is the puffy poof hat that I was going to start last time when we were recording. I had the yarn right next to me. It is a pattern by Jessie Mae Martinson. It's a super bulky ribbed hat, super easy, very effective.
I bought that pattern because your yarn looks so awesome.
Oh, thank you. It was some hand spun that someone gifted to me that I held doubled, and I posted a picture of it on my Instagram. I think it's the last picture. I haven't been on Instagram for a while, but I did post a picture of it. So that is the first thing on my list that I finished.
Okay, it's me again.
You again.
Okay, this is the big thing.
Okay.
I finished something I started last December.
Oh, I'm excited.
Which was my gift for our Christmas Eve handmade exchange at home. I made 5 of Noodlehead's cargo duffels.
That's a fantastic pattern.
Wow.
Which is a great pattern. Mm-hmm. I think that it is the most detailed thing I've made, and my wedding dress was a Vogue wedding dress. Mm-hmm. This duffel was the most detailed thing I've ever made.
Wow.
I think.
Lots of parts.
Yeah, lots of steps.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not my turn, maybe I'll go get my list. So I've mentioned this book before. I think last time Karin, I've told her about it. The Every Tool's a Hammer by Adam Savage.
It's good. Uh-huh. It's good. I'm listening to the audio.
So he talks about his list making proclivity and how
awesome
detailed his list gets, which I have always been a list maker, but his love affair with list making to break down his projects and make them manageable is so excellent. And so I had freshly listened to that book last year, and I dove into this project thinking I'd finish it in a few sewing sessions. And I made one master list and then photocopied it for each one. And then I ran out of time. I ended up trying to finish one through so I could learn all the steps. And that just ate up all the time I had. And I had to change my plan, which has happened like every other year of this tradition. So if I had not made that list and then come back to it this year, I would have just thrown it all in the garbage, because I was not as far as I thought I was, first of all. And secondly, it is an excellent pattern. It's a very, very well-written pattern, but there are a lot of detailed steps that need to be done in the order she gives it to you. I was a little bummed because then I went back onto Instagram after I finished and I was all triumphant, and I saw all the cool things people have done to alter the pattern. And I'm like, that would have been cool, but I'm never making this again.
You might.
I might. People have added side pockets, which are very cool. Some people don't quilt it, which I might skip if I were ever going to make it again, because that's not super my bag. And then they just make a lining, and then when you make the lining, you can do a zipper on the like a zipper pocket on the inside. It's very cool. And one thing that I may or may not add, which I realized was kind of a mental block for me last year, is there's supposed to be snaps on the pockets, and
yeah,
I don't want to F it up. Yeah. But you know what? Alexander looked at it, my eldest, and he looked at it and said, "Where are the snaps, Mom?" He's never seen the pattern.
Yeah.
But he knew there should be snaps on those stupid pockets.
Maybe like some Velcro instead.
I don't like Velcro. Yeah, that's a good solution.
Yeah.
in a knitter's house, Velcro is not usually welcome.
That's true.
And I have the snaps. I just need to practice a little before I do it.
Snaps are one of those things I always have to look it up every time when I do it, and you have to be in the right mental state to be like, okay, I gotta figure this out right now. I get it. But
I'm really proud of myself, and they turned out really nice.
Do you have a picture of them?
Not yet.
I would love to see them.
I will post pictures on Instagram. I just haven't had the energy to find a nice place to take a picture of them, because I don't want it to be like a quick snap. It's going to be a detailed photo essay. So the last detail about them is I was telling someone at work about how excited, because I'd been waking up early and coming into the studio early all of the week before Christmas to work on them so I could be home at night. And I thought it was going to be every morning, including Christmas Eve morning, that I was getting up at like 4 to come in here and work for a few hours before work. And
don't be me.
I finished because I was coming fresh and rested. So this method works much better than coming after work.
Yeah. You probably make less mistakes.
Yes. On the 23rd, I finished all of the machine sewing for the last one. And I wasn't going to have to come Christmas Eve morning. So I went to work all giddy, and I was telling my coworker about it. And I said, I think it's the most detailed thing I've ever made. And I think when I give it to them, it'll be as though I have made them underwear.
Yeah, probably.
Because
thank you.
It's such a detailed thing, but so utilitarian. It's not very fun until you get to take the trip with it. Which, thank God, was not this year. No one was missing out on my not finishing that last year.
You realize now what I'm fixated in my head is. I'm fixated on taking a trip in underwear.
Well, I hope you take every trip in underwear. But that's up to you. I'm not here to judge. So... Anyways,
it's in your head now. You can't stop thinking about
that. You don't wear underwear sometimes?
No, not that.
I'm thinking about that.
No, I never go.
I'm trying not to think about it.
I'm not a commando gal. Not a commando.
So anyway, when I was telling my dear work friend this, she made this face that was amazing. I was like, oh no, like I follow a ton of people on Instagram who make their own underwear and they love it. And then the next face she made was even better. The idea that people make their own underwear.
I make my own underwear.
I haven't, but I've always been fascinated by it.
Yeah, and it's so
you
easy.
can custom. Yes, I have observed that.
I've made them.
Have you made
a pattern from like
Jesse and Muna and Broad?
I made a pattern from a pair of underwear I had that were old.
You just got to make sure it's the right stretchiness of the knit.
And it's perfect for leftover, like, t-shirt, jersey, whatever. And then you add fold over elastic, and then you're done. It's
somebody had like this very good recipe for doing it. So you don't do the round, the elastic in the round. You flat sew everything. And she's like, this is how they're doing it. This is how they're doing it commercially. Like if you really look at your underwear. And I learned the hard way that seamless underwear is actually just glued together. Have you guys ever observed that?
It's awful.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I found out because it does wear out and then it comes apart.
Right? It's bad. That was a tough day. Anyways, so I didn't make my family underwear. I made them these beautiful bags.
Stuck a pair in each duffel bag.
And then they'd be like, I'm referencing a joke I made at work by giving them underwear.
Also underwear.
Like, they did get underwear for Christmas. That was just a separate gift. Because read, need, want, wear. You always need new underwear and socks. So
that's true.
In their need, they generally get shoes, underwear, and socks.
Those are all necessary things.
Yep. So that's my next. That's my share on that.
Okay.
Who's next?
Karin?
Okay, so in beginning of December, I started a year-long Christmas wreath stitch along from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Their first clue came out early in December, and I actually finished the first clue in the month that it was given, and started the second clue already because
Congratulations.
they did it early because they're going to be off. They're off this week, and this way they could be off and not worry about. So other people started it too, and I'm like, I'm really glad that Clue 2 is it's only like 3 colors. There's nothing complicated. There's big areas that is very relaxing. I rediscovered my love for cross stitch, and so it's been really fun.
Well, Frosted Pumpkin is a nice place to have that discovery because their designs are so flippin' cute.
They are adorable, and they're really well written.
How sad I was that I get the urge to cross stitch like right before Christmas. I don't know why, but I was looking back on my Instagram and I started a little tiny Santa Claus. He had like a little bag. I don't remember what it was, but it was just a little cross stitch, and it was a frosted pumpkin pattern. And I know I didn't finish it, but could I find that project for the life of me? No, but I really wanted to work on it. Because I was like, oh, that would be so fun to work on right now. But then it's gone forever. I have no idea where it is.
You will find it in April.
No. Or not.
Of 2027.
Yeah, there you go. It's going to be a while.
I wasn't finished.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Well, I finished what I was working on last time we recorded, which was the Little Cotton Rabbit's Girl Cat.
Oh, so cute.
For my niece.
How's she like it?
She loves it. It's so cute. So she has a kitty. This is my niece who's a year and a half old. They have a cat that's black and white, so I made it black and white to look like her cat.
So cute.
With a purple dress.
Oh, the dress is like this little beautiful little argyle woven.
It's like a little plaid dress. That's so cute.
That's the word I'm looking for.
She, I have 5 nieces and nephews. So she has 2 older brothers, and for them for Christmas, and for my other niece and nephew for Christmas, who are all a little bit older, we got them hermit crabs, and like James built little terrariums for them and stuff.
Oh
but
my God.
the 1.5-year-old doesn't care about the hermit crabs, so I was like, well, we should get Emily her own present, which was this cat. But she loves stuffed animals and blankets and snuggly stuff, and she carried around her cat all Christmas, and she loved it, and it made my little heart so happy, because it was a pain in the butt. So many little pieces, so much seaming and finishing, but
that's why I converted them to the round when I did her pattern.
It's hard to know when you put the more work that you put into something, if it's going to get an equal amount of reciprocal love.
Yeah. It seemed like she liked it, and she took it with her to her nap, and it made me happy. Even if she just liked it on Christmas,
that's fine. That's
totally fine.
Yeah.
So I finished that.
That is wonderful.
It made me happy.
Oh, how cute she must have been.
She is a cute girl.
All right. Now we're getting into. Oh no, I'm not.
We got one more thing.
No, I have more than one thing, so you're not going to edit me.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4,
no,
5,
I mean
6 more things to talk about.
Okay, good. Because I thought she was going to move on to like some other topic, and I wasn't done.
Okay, we're not. None of us are done. Okay, so I made another crossover apron.
Cute.
This is my favorite.
I love that
Mirabelle is very cute with the kitty fabric.
That's very classy.
But this is 2 cotton linen blends. I don't think either of them are Essex linen, but they're cotton linen blends.
They look like Essex linen.
Ever since Kaity shared her cautionary tale of her Essex linen experience, she had like the cute top.
Oh, and it shrinks like crazy.
I always wash it before.
Always wash it.
Lost 4 inches in yardage of 1 yard.
Yeah.
I had thought about buying a 1 1/8 or 1 1/4, and I was feeling stingy, so I didn't. I wish I had, but it's okay. It's better that happened in the yardage than
on
the thing.
Yeah.
Even though this is an apron, it still would have upset me because I love it. So I have a black and white
coat. It's going to shrink in the same places, the same way all over.
Right. Out of 36 inches, it loses 4. That's significant.
Yes.
Yeah.
So wash your cotton linen blends, ladies, gentlemen.
Before you cut.
You should wash everything before you sew, blah, blah, blah. At least for your cotton linen blends, please do.
Cotton is optional. You get what you get if you choose not to, but thank you for that bad experience you had because I learned
You're
from it.
I must have blocked out my memory because I couldn't remember what you were talking
I can
about.
remember exactly what it was. A cute tank
It was
top
traumatic.
with like a really pretty brown brown color. I'm bringing you back to your trauma.
I remember.
You're welcome.
It came out of the dryer in shreds.
Oh. So black and white polka dots, black background, white polka dots, and this white and black stripe. And with this, it's the Mary Mulari crossover apron. If you're interested, there's an independent study on our website. I mix and matched the pockets. So the first one I made is matchy pocket, same pocket on same side. This has the stripe on the polka dot and the polka dot on the stripe. And because of the shrinkage, because it also lost some width, I didn't have the right width to cut the straps out. Because this pattern's super well laid out. You make the main piece of the pattern and then you cut the straps out of the lengthwise leftover. So my straps on the polka dot side are also striped.
That's okay. It's
and then
coordinated.
I have one more thing. It's even cuter, but I have something to brag on.
Okay.
Look at that seam. Look at these seams.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Great pattern
I
matching.
match my stripes perfectly.
Those stripes are like, I didn't even see the
know there was
seam.
a seam
Don't
there.
look at these.
Oh, no, that one looks like mine would.
Well, on the other part of the seam, you don't see it, and it's on your back. No one cares. But yes, those stripes look continuous. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I love that pattern. I will make more. And
I
I've
need
been
to make one.
in my early morning sewing. I have been putting that on because the first day I didn't, and I went to work with lint and clippings all over. Well, you're wearing the right color, all black. I think I was wearing like an all black outfit, so it really showed up. And
it's like you rolled around in a dustbin.
Now I have been putting my workshop apron. I think this is the apron I've always been kind of dreaming of. I think the apron I've always been dreaming of was not a full apron, but who knew?
Yeah.
But there's pockets on both sides, so I can have 4 pockets for goodies. It's fun. It's a very fun pattern.
Cute.
So okay, that's it on that one. You're next. Go, Karin.
I have the thing I finished. The thing I'm most proud of actually is something I finished today, just like a couple hours ago, in time for my for our little business party, because it was. So I have the dishcloth calendar bag that I designed. That's on, it's part of the class.
Also an independent study.
Also an independent study. And instead of using a dishcloth calendar, I cut it as one fabric instead of 2 pieces. Because
you could also buy one, right?
Yes, you can buy some buy one in the boutique
on our website,
and we'll ship it to you.
So anyway, carry on with your most fabulous thing.
So because these are from my best friends, I actually upped it, and instead of making it out of canvas linen, I have a really nice faux leather that I made, and then I had a special fabric to line it. I put an extra pocket on the zipper pocket on the outside.
This is how you can tell that somebody really loves you, is because I wouldn't want to sew with faux leather.
I
It's
know.
a pain in the butt.
So
I
she
put
made
piping.
us close our eyes, and I was touching it, and I'm like, oh, "You made me something out of this fabric."
It doesn't feel like vinyl. It feels. It's a really good quality faux leather. I was just really lucky that I made some choices earlier in the year and then didn't do anything with them because I had stash.
Were you lucky or are we lucky?
You're lucky. I put extra. So it has a zipper on the inside, a nice zipper pocket on the inside, but I put an extra one on the outside. And then, so I was it came out really, really well. I want to make one for myself I've made 2 out of the calendars.
Made lots out of the calendars.
But yes, because I made so many for the boutique, I had it down.
Yeah.
It was like, it took me longer to cut and prep the fabric than it did to actually do the sewing. But isn't that kind of how it is?
Makes sense.
So anyway, I'm really pleased with that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased also.
Thank you, Karin. Perfect sort of bag because it looks like you could fit a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
and I have a lot of stuff to haul around.
Well, it's funny because like when I'm looking at it, it doesn't look as big, but when I have it in my hands, it feels like Mary Poppins' bag. It's Mary Poppins' bag. You can throw everything. You could throw a horse in that thing. You could.
I'm gonna try.
Maybe a miniature horse.
Don't try.
Don't try.
Okay, we got 2 hooves in.
And yeah. But I also one of the things I like is so the outside it's pretty plain. It's faux leather, but it's a solid
It's
color.
Very chic.
But the inside has pops. I like when your lining is like a cool surprise. And it has a drawstring top, so the top it's not just an open round tote. It's a round tote.
That if you drop it on the ground, nothing's gonna spill it out.
Nothing's gonna spill out because it's
All
got
my
a drawstring
secrets
top.
stay secret.
Yeah.
No one needs to know.
And the drawstring will not come apart because I did the magic knot thing.
Oh.
So all you have to do, it gives you something to grab, so you just pull it and it comes up, or you can pull. Because I hate when you have a drawstring and then you pull it and then it gets caught inside and you have to restring the whole thing, so you won't have that problem.
Sweet.
Nice.
Because I also don't know where my bikini is.
Your bikini? Your bikini? I don't think they know what that joke is about.
It's fine. It's just for us. You guys aren't gonna.
I
know.
lost my bikini. Does anyone have a spare? We mean a bodkin, but
No, don't tell.
No, okay,
Don't tell.
bikini.
Sorry, guys.
That's
Secrets
what I'm
have
calling
power.
my vodka from now on. Is my
My
bikini.
bikini.
My
I
bikini.
lost my bikini again.
I'm sure
I had to
you
buy
guys
another-
It's so small. I just keep misplacing it.
And even when I buy new ones, I lose the new bikini.
I'm sure you guys can fill in the blanks, but that's it. That's all you're getting.
Okay.
That's hysterical.
So the next thing on my list is, so my parents are working on restoring my late grandfather's 1958 VW combi van.
Ooh.
And so they have been.
I've seen it in your garage. Your dad sees me coming, and then he just disappears.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like my dad.
and then when I leave, I think he comes back out.
He's a busy guy. I don't know what he's doing in there. But they're working on restoring it, and it's a project that they're working on together. My grandpa passed away, and so the car went to my mom, and she always liked it. She remembered going on trips in it as a kid. So they're working on restoring it. So for Christmas, I found a pattern on Ravelry for a pillow that looks like a VW van on the front and on the back. My mom posted a picture of it on Instagram, but I never got around to it. But I do have a picture of it.
Oh, I saw
So-
the picture. I must follow your mom.
Yeah, you must. So this
It's
is
so cute.
the pillow that I
Oh,
made.
it turned out so good.
It did. So their van is all blue except for with a white bumper.
I guess I picked good colors that day.
I made it during the week where I was trapped at home because we had a COVID scare, and everybody's fine, nobody had COVID that we know of, but I couldn't leave my house. So Karin was like my go-to for like, I need this color yarn at the studio, can you bring this to me?
Because this is why I take so many bags back and forth, because you just never know.
Yeah.
When you leave, because you're gonna leave the studio and go home, you're thinking that
And then I'm
you'll
trapped at home.
and
for a week
that
and
the
a
thing
half.
you really need, unfortunately, is not
I'll
with
be
you.
back tomorrow. And then you're not.
And then I'm not. The pattern I used is called Flower Power VW Van Pillow by Deborah Bagley and Dana Binser. I think it was a free pattern on Ravelry. I changed some things around because I've learned a lot about VW vans this year, and like the difference in years and the headlight styles and the different size, whatever. So I had to change some of the headlights and the sizes and the colors of things to make it look like their van. So
Because
awesome.
VW, see now, if it was a Beetle, I could tell you what year it was by the type of bumper.
yeah, there's little things like that people who
Or
are in
if
the know, and I'm
Or
like, oh.
do they have headrests or not? Some years don't have headrests.
Wow.
So many things to know.
Things you don't think you should know. I know a lot of trivial stuff.
I might know things like that about Mustangs, but truly not in that granular detail. I'll admit.
I don't. I just took a picture when nobody was looking.
I
at the
only
back
know
of their
that
van,
about
and I had a picture of the front of it that I could go off of.
Nice.
And I could sneak down to the garage and like compare
Very good.
stuff. So
Very good.
that was one of the things that I made. That was their
VW Beetle
Christmas
is the
present.
only car I know anything about, and I never owned one
But you know about them.
because one of my best friends in high school had one, so
Oh.
I learned from her.
Nice.
Well, I have learned from osmosis what I know about VW vans because my parents watch lots of YouTube videos about them at night when I'm, eating dinner or whatever. That's always on the TV, so there's lots to learn apparently.
The Vanagon's really cool.
Yeah, the Vanagons are cool. but theirs is like a really, I mean, it's...
Does theirs have the pop-up camper top?
No. So theirs is old.
Oh, because that's a Westphalia.
Yeah, that's a Westphalia. Theirs is old. It's just one color. It's like your typical VW van has like the white V in the front, and it's two-toned. Theirs is all blue. Dove blue is the name of the color. And I couldn't match it exactly because I was stuck with what I had available to me without being able to go to the store to buy anything. And I did a pretty decent job.
I think it was pretty good.
Yeah. And my parents loved it. That was their Christmas present.
So it's bringing to mind, like, someone told a story once, and I've always wondered if it's an urban legend or if it's a true thing you need to be careful of if you have, like, a VW bus style car, is that, like, you should never have all the doors open at once. Because if you're in a windy place, it can catch, like, fill with air and blow away.
That seems plausible.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I feel like I can't remember the source or the full story.
That's funny.
But it's like somebody parked on a cliffside of a windy...
And their
like,
car flew off into the distance.
They all got out of the car and didn't close the doors. And it tumbled down the hill because the wind caught it.
Oh, man.
I mean, I don't know if that's real. It might be an urban legend.
Or possibly because the emergency brake wasn't on.
But that wouldn't stop the wind from knocking it over.
They didn't roll down the hill.
Oh.
It went over the cliff. So
I mean, it's a large piece of metal on the top that could catch the wind,
true.
I suppose.
I don't know.
Maybe because they're top heavier. I don't know.
So if anybody's ever had any VW bus style wind catching stories.
Oh, yeah. Put a comment in wherever you're...
Wherever you leave comments.
Which I have to say, like, people who reach out to us and say, hey, I just listened and blah, 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 question or comment, I love. So
yes.
thank you.
We occasionally
so
get those. Those are fun.
Okay, and what's
all right. Now, in preparation for the pattern that is now out, I made 3 pairs of my warm-up fingerless mitts, which is a pattern you can now buy on Ravelry.
Very cute.
And, as we were talking about earlier, this rainy storm had a cold snap with it. So my office is very old, which is what inspired these mitts. And yesterday, the afternoon got so cold. I had the sweater I'm wearing now, which is just like a typical office-y sweater, light layer, but it's usually warm enough. And I had to go out to my car to get my scrapper cardi and put that on over it. And then my fingers were still icicles. I put my fingerless mitts on, and in 8 minutes, because I happened to be paying attention, well, I was like, oh, my fingers are warm now. You know that wonderful feeling, like, when your fingers and toes are warm? You know, you go from being icy cold to noticing,
to
they're warm now.
Yeah.
And I was like, how long did that take? Oh, 8 minutes.
Good to know. You should have called them the 8-minute mitts.
Should have. But then people think they can make them in 8 minutes. They're fast, but not that
My
fast.
husband went running in the evening in that cold.
That would be fun.
And
I love a cold damp
I told him, I said, do you realize how cold? He goes, let me look. It says 41, but it feels like 38.
Yeah.
I go, and you're still going to go running. I don't want to hear complaining.
I was in my car this morning because it was cold when I left my house. And I'm like, man, I'm freezing. My hands are cold. I'm like driving to the gas station to get gas. I'm like, I'm so cold. I'm like, well, you dummy, you're not wearing a coat. Like, I live in Southern California. I'm not used to this. I don't carry a coat with me.
What is that word?
Like,
coat?
Yeah, I don't know.
It takes time for the cold to, like... I guess it takes time for the cold to hit our nervous system.
I just left my house like a normal day wearing a long sleeve t-shirt. Yeah. And I was like, do. Oh, I'm so cold. Well, yeah that's your own fault.
I am embarrassed when I'm cold.
Yeah.
Right? There's no reason
I should be
cold. Near me, around me, or myself to ever be cold.
No.
I should never be cold because I got a car full of
right.
You would be great in a survival situation. My cousin is notorious for having a car full of things, especially clothes, because she was going back and forth between like a couple places, and anyway, her trunk was full of clothes. And back in whatever year it was with the Thomas fire, her and her family lost their house, but she had the most stuff out of anybody because she half lived out of her car. So she has things that are like older than anybody else in her family does just because she has a lot of clothes in her car.
Hey,
I knew I liked her.
If we ever went on trips to the mountains, I always made sure we had a thing of water bottles, and we had a bunch of blankets because you never know when you're gonna have car trouble. You're gonna get stranded someplace. How many times would you hear those stories about people that were coming back from the snow and the car failed, and of course they're in a place that has no cell power,
Right.
and or they have no gas, and after 2 days they decide Dad's got to go.
Oh no.
Well, that's like there was
go
a
find help.
family maybe a decade ago who got lost in the Oregon logging roads, and that they all died.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Peachy.
I was at the gas station this morning looking for or I was getting gas, and I was looking in the back of my car, and I was like, okay, what do I have back here? And I found 2 blankets, both of which I think were like dirty picnic blankets, so I didn't wrap myself up in either of them. But I had a lot of accessories. I have a bag of like old samples from classes that I meant to take out and put in my office, so I had some scarves and stuff. So I don't think I would freeze.
No.
But I was cold. I don't know whose turn it is.
It's my turn.
Okay.
No, I just shared. I'm in the middle of sharing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
I think
just
we gotta move
forgot.
faster,
Wait,
though.
she's
Yeah.
got more.
No. So those mitts are called the warm-up mitts,
Yep.
which I was shocked to find out that there are no mitts called warm-up mitts, which
Oh,
is
nice.
why
Really?
they're called that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
It's hard to find a pattern title that hasn't been taken
Right,
yet.
that's so obvious. I mean, I looked for anyway. Sometimes in that thing Ravelry, so there might be something called that, and maybe it was on the next page,
Yeah.
but it wasn't on the first page of Ravelry when I searched for it. And they're very quick to make, and it's a fun pattern.
Nice.
So, and they work. If you're
It's the
sitting in
most
your
important
cold
thing.
office,
What weight yarn does it use?
it's a sport weight. My samples are in UU So Sporty. You use You So Sporty,
Cool.
and Debbie Bliss Baby Cash Merino.
Nice.
If it were a different time, I would have just made all the samples in the UU, not to disparage Debbie Bliss, but the sample that is pictured is 3 winters old. And it looks good enough that I was willing to photograph it for part of my photo
Wow,
samples.
that's good.
That's awesome.
So that's good yarn.
All of those UU
Yep.
yarns are great.
Yep. But it's the time we live in, and I couldn't readily get that. So that's that.
Nice. Okay, Karen, you're next.
It's your turn, Karen.
For things finished?
Yep,
Yeah.
we're still
Oh,
working.
no, I finished with all the things I finished.
Oh, she
I think
finished.
it's just Anne and I back and forth
All right,
for a
yeah.
little while longer.
Ping pong.
Yeah.
Okay, so Anne published a pattern. I also published a free
Oh,
pattern
so cute.
for a pair of slippers. I was knitting slippers for me because my toes were cold.
Are those the ones I tested?
Yes. So it's a
Oh,
free
cool.
pattern for slippers. You knit double-stranded.
Super
Pattern is
easy.
called- Yeah, they're really easy.
Yeah.
The pattern's called Marley because
I love that because it's marled.
it's marled, and I also had watched A Christmas Carol.
Marley
It's spelled
and
different than
Marley.
Marley with an E, but I was like, I'm naming it this. And then I looked on
That's
Ravelry,
awesome.
and there wasn't. I don't think there was a pair of slippers named that. So it's a free pattern if you want to make a quick and fun pair of slippers. I've made 2 pairs for me. I made a pair for my mom for Christmas, and I owe a pair to somebody else that I haven't made yet. But yes, Marley slippers. It's a free pattern. You can make some yourself. Okay, Anne.
I plan on making some of those.
Oh yeah, Karen tested the pattern for me, so thank you, Karen.
I made 2.
I did it out of
I
this
was
yarn.
thinking that I'm like Felicie, right? That's how
Yeah.
Felicie Worsted.
Felicie Worsted.
I'm like, didn't she make something else out of Felicie Worsted
Yeah.
recently?
I made a slipper.
That's all it takes.
That's
That's all it takes. For my purposes, that's all it takes.
Yeah, that answers the question. Does this pattern work?
Yes.
So I made 2 pairs of fuzzy slippers that are currently on the feet of Katie
Me.
and Karen, which
Yeah.
makes me very, very happy.
My
as,
toes are
you
nice
know,
and cozy.
If you want to
I
make a
wish I
knitter
could wear
house,
them to my car,
I'm super
but
happy
I'm
because I
sorry,
wore
I'm
out
going
my
to.
last
Yeah.
pair.
well, so I noticed in Karen's office that the pair I made like a long time ago,
Yeah, like
5
years ago.
yeah, that she had done one of the best things you could do, which is wear them out. My heart was
Because
full.
it is well loved.
Yeah, my heart was very full to see the holes.
Yeah, I'd rather have somebody wear something out than never use it.
Right. So during the year, I saved on our shared Instagram a post for these slippers. They are by
Dang, I never looked at that.
the
I'm gonna have to-
the designer. I think she's German or something Germanic, because there's lots of umlauts and things like that. But her screen name is Strick Amelia. StrickEmilla. She's a designer on Ravelry. So if you find her Instagram handle, you will find a link to her Ravelry patterns. These slippers are not in her patterns, but she has a tutorial about how to do them. I didn't notice she had a tutorial, and I reinvented the wheel and figured them out myself. So I gave them to Karin and Kaity wrapped separately because I knew if they had received them together, a pair would indicate
It was just
something.
one, and I was like, I have no idea what this is.
It looked like a pair of doll pants that someone had sewed the tops closed.
There was no opening.
There's no opening. So
I thought,
it looks like
this is a joke.
A hat with bunny ears, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
But the hat's sewn closed.
But the hat's sewn closed.
Right.
So it looked like a practical joke.
Which thrills me. So I handed it to
so
Dante
Anne.
yesterday, or one time tonight, or one night this week, and I was like, Dante, look at this. And he's like, what is this thing? I'm like, oh, I hope that's how they react.
It's like when you make a baby surprise and you throw it to somebody and you're like, turn it into a sweater.
Yes, that was exactly what I was hoping for. So Karin got hers first,
yeah,
and she started poking around, and Kaity opened hers, started poking around, and there's no openings. So what you do with these is you take one bunny ear and you slip it into the other, so it like fits inside the other ear.
Which I figured out.
Yeah, and it's a double.
Mostly because I had just this evening had bags that I birthed the opposite way.
You know, and the tote bags I made you guys go kind of the same idea, where you just poke right into. So anyway, this girl has a cute tutorial. Maybe someday I'll write my way down. But I look forward to making a pair for myself.
They're super cozy.
But I'm also going to make Katie's pair, which I think will be a lot easier than mine. So that's that. Two pairs of those fuzzy slippers. Because the other, fun. I have made 3.
And they feel amazing.
Aww. The prototype I made in November, though, I'll be honest. And Mirabella won't give them back.
Well, you didn't talk about it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so 3 pairs of slippers.
Okay.
Back to Kaity.
So I made a couple of ribbed headbands that one of our customers, Mindy, had been working on this pattern. Basically, you cast on like 12 stitches. It's super bulky yarn. I think I used size 13 needles. I had a skein of Rasta. And you just knit one by one ribbing until it's a strip and you sew the ends together. And because I don't have any hair, I wear more. Well, I have some hair. More headbands and stuff. Yes, it does.
It looks cute.
Thank you. So I made 2 ribbed headbands with 1 ball of Rasta, and then I ran out of yarn. So I made both of them in one sitting on a Zoom call, so they took an hour each.
Oh, wow.
But they were really fun, and I don't know what I'm going to do with 2 of them, but I'm going to keep one for me, and I don't know what to do with the other pair. The other one. But
oh, do they match?
It's 2 out of the same yarn, so I have 2 that look exactly the same. Because I was
Give
sitting here thinking,
James.
Well, I made one, I can
Give
make another one.
James.
Oh yeah, he would love it.
I bet he'd look adorable in it.
Sure. It'll cover his ears. It'll make him warm.
Okay, I am now on my last thing.
I have 3 more.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, wait.
It'll be the Kaity show next.
Yay.
So I made 3 of the Sisters Common Thread caddy pad, and it is a iron caddy.
Caddy pad. I'm like, what's a caddy pad?
So I guess Karin saw me making mine and was like, well, what's that? I wish I had one, which is the best thing. But I was very careful to not sew on used guys's in front of Karin or when any of you might be coming by.
What happened were you working on something for all of us that day where we all just showed up and you were already here this morning and I feel like I interrupted your morning?
Not at all.
Okay, good.
And I'm sorry I make you guys feel that way. I just need alone time.
No, I understand when I want to be alone and I'm like, there's people here. I get
it. Anne is so good at subterfuge.
I try.
She is the queen.
And it drives me nuts because no one in my family can do that. Like, I long for the day on our handmade gift exchange when no one asks me for help because they've learned all the things I know how to do. Or they've come up with their own things.
You taught everybody all the things you knew.
Fair enough.
They didn't need you
Fair
anymore.
enough.
Yeah.
But I would love to be surprised one year.
Yes.
At least nice. By one of them. Kevin kind of surprised me this year. But I knew he was 3D printing something.
I was surprised that because this was the first year that the one or two of the three of my sons did not come to me and say, I totally forgot. What extra presents do you have in your closet? Can I buy it from you to give?
Sorry, child.
Nobody did that this year.
I got no extra presents.
The only thing they asked ahead of time was for wrapping paper, and I gotta tell you, when I came out with the brown wrapping paper and pens, they all looked at me like, what the hell is that? Are you kidding me?
You can't go to the store yourself, baby child, and get your
No,
own?
I did that on purpose. I got the
Oh.
brown paper to be eco-friendly, and I
Oh.
I said, this year we're gonna decorate the paper, and they're like,
I thought you were punishing them.
and they're like,
Well, so in their eyes it wasn't.
in their eyes it was. Although one of them did actually,
Nice.
color on it and make
Good,
their own paper.
So this pattern, it's sort of interesting. I made it alongside a sewing student, and then I wanted to make it myself. The pattern is very explicit. Do not photocopy it, and you will only ever find it sold with the heat resistant fabric.
Oh, interesting.
So I, of course, bought the initial pattern, and then I bought more heat resistant fabric.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure if you're looking
It's
for this
so
pattern
cool.
that it is in that form. Otherwise, you are not getting
What's
the
the name
official
of it
pattern. Sisters Common Thread is the brand, and the pattern is called the Kaity Pad. It's very easy to find online. I got my pattern.
It is so cool.
Thank you. I got it from the fabric shop in Camarillo. The pattern, same place I got my Mary Mulari pattern.
I still have not been there.
It's fun, cute little shop. Hard to social distance in there. Oh, I forgot to do one thing on these. You guys want to hit it with some heat?
I was gonna say,
yeah,
there's
I
some
didn't
marks
erase my friction pen.
I knew exactly what it was.
But you know what? The first time we put our warm iron in there, that'll take care of it.
Yeah. So
I'm currently struggling to figure out how to put it back together.
the theme of my
This is
present
so
was
fun, just
ironing and
watching her.
origami. I did give them their Kaity pads folded,
Yep.
but
Wait,
you
I
got to
did
do it for yourself. So I used another cute Tula Pink pattern and solid colors. Katie's
it.
favorite color, yellow, and
Very
Karen's favorite
cute lemon
color.
yellow.
And I think yours was Kona's like color of the year this year. I can't remember the name
This
of
might
the
be
color
it.
of the
It's
year.
peacock, I think.
Next year's.
Next year's?
No, next year's is yellow and gray.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So this year was, I think, peacock.
I think
I'm
so.
so confused.
Oh,
Um,
sorry if I'm not. If you heard that, I think I hit the
Oh,
mic.
it's okay.
It's like watching one of my
Whatever.
videos. I always hit the camera. Katie got it. She nailed it.
It is
So-
origami.
Yeah. So it's also a pressing surface. So
Yeah.
like if you're in a fix and you forgot your pressing surface, you can use your Kaity pad as a pressing surface.
Very cute.
It's fun.
What an awesome idea. How many times you're like you need to take your iron, but it's still warm, and you just put it in this. You can put it in this carrier. It'll cool down in a week. You don't have to worry about
Burning yourself. Or...
burning yourself
It
or
would
the
be
inside
great
of your
if we
car.
went places.
I
Like,
know.
To take to, like,
Wouldn't it
a
be nice
class
if we
or-
went places?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like sewing in the main room.
Yeah.
So
So
I
transporting it
love
from here to your
that
office.
I can put my iron away hot now.
Yeah,
And
that's pretty nice.
not worry that I'm going to mindlessly put it on our rented carpet and melt
That
the
would be
carpet.
nice. Please don't do that.
I'm very conscientious about putting it on my pressing pad before, but now I just put it in the caddy and go. I made a huge mistake on mine
Uh-huh.
that I just fixed with more elastic.
There you
Okay.
go.
You like do this, you do a big rectangle, and then you take a measurement on each side, and then it becomes an octagon, and that's how it folds in. Well, I took the corners and I just did like huge right angles on them, which is not the instructions. Reading is for suckers. So I was like, I bought super beautiful fabric from fabric shop, and then I was like, I just wrecked this, and there's no going back because you cut it off at that point. But more elastic saved it, so mine's fine.
It works.
It works.
That just means you
Use
can make
guys
another
is right. So that's all the things I've made,
one. Okay,
which is so much better than last month. We're all doing better than last
Oh
month.
yeah, most of mine are
Let's see.
gifts, so I got a lot done.
Right.
Okay, I have 3 more. Karen's birthday was.
Aww.
I'm gonna go
this
get it
one.
because I used it today.
Oh,
So-
I can't wait.
I made her a tote bag it's called the Sheridan Tote by Svetlana Sotak, who was the same designer that I used to make your guys' Christmas gift.
So cute.
Sotak Handmade. If you look her up on Instagram, she also has a YouTube channel where she does like free tutorials. Her design aesthetic is very Cute. I really like it. Well, not cute. It's more like classy modern, I guess. So this is Karen's birthday present.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And look how pretty, and it's got these little rivets that are
That's
shiny.
so nice.
And look at the inside fabric; it's so.
Oh,
I was
green.
proud.
Karen's
that,
other favorite color.
Yes,
Yes, green.
I was proud that it was all
Look, I got you green.
stash except for the straps I had to buy from Fabric Town. But that's Essex linen and some stash cotton that I had in my stash. It's a free tutorial pattern from.
It's very rewarding when you accumulate this,
Mhm.
and then you feel freed up. Like, I'm finally using this thing that is
Yeah.
so pretty and beautiful.
The addition of the rivets was fun because it just makes it look a little more.
It
classy.
looks so finished.
Now, was that part of the pattern, or was that your addition?
No, I just followed her pattern pretty much.
Oh, it's so cool.
To a T. So
It is. It's like a little bit of jewelry on your bag.
yeah.
Is it Sotak like
SOTAK?
Not SEW.
SEWTA. No.
I found it right
Sotak.
away.
Svetlana Sotak. And
I'm
it was
gonna
a.
follow her.
Oh.
Yeah, I really like her.
Ooh.
She has great tutorials, and she has a book. I think it's called That Handmade Touch that I need to purchase because I like all her
Oh,
patterns.
here's
so.
that bag.
And that picture's beautiful.
The Sheridan tote. So I made that for Karin. Then I sewed for myself as a little present because I was testing it for a class possibly, but I don't think I'm going to teach it. But a noodlehead pattern called the Sand Hill Sling bag.
I was looking at that because I was going, that is so cute.
So this is my Sand Hill Sling.
I love it.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that,
I love your
look at the
pins.
pins.
Thank you. So I have this cute little pin.
Dude.
That's a Pendleton sweater that looks like the sweater
That
that
is
the dude
awesome.
wears in the Big Lebowski. This was a Christmas present, which is
I
amazing.
was already following her, and I didn't even know that.
Sometimes people I follow get lost in the
Yes.
in the fray of Instagram,
In
so
the
I totally
stupid
understand.
algorithm.
So there's two views for this pattern. One of them has a zipper front, one of them has a snap. But I had the zippers and I didn't want to figure out the snap, so it has two zippers. It has a interior. There's my zipper sound.
Ooh, I like that fabric. I saw that fabric in the trash this morning.
Yes.
And I was like,
Wonder what that was.
I wonder what it is.
So this was also
So
all
cute.
stash except for the strap. I had to jump down to Fabric Town to buy for this, but everything else was stashed. This is leftover canvas from a duffel bag I made last Christmas, I think.
Oh, it's not this duffel bag.
No, it's a different one. I need to put some sort of zipper pull or like cord on the zipper because they're tiny little zipper heads and they get lost. But it was a fun pattern, and it's my purse right now, so that was fun.
I was trying to decide if that would like suit me because like you're good with the backpack purses.
I'm a big fan of backpacks.
I'm not huge on backpack purses, but I love crossbody purses.
Mhm.
But I'm kind of tote bag right now.
Noodlehead is a fantastic designer for multiple reasons, but one thing which I would not have thought about is that she says, I put this on the right side because I'm right-handed, but you might want to attach it on the left side if you're left-handed, which is true because I wear it over my shoulder like this, and that way I can reach in with my left hand and get to stuff. So I would not have thought of it, and it would have been backwards on me.
That reminds me.
I'm right-handed, but I wear mine the same way.
Well, you can put
there you go. But I also
your
wear my
snap-
watch on the wrong
You
side.
can put your strap connector on either side. She also said put one on each side, and then you can decide where you put your strap.
Perfect.
I put your elastic in the wrong place, not in the really wrong place, but like opposite the diagram on your iron caddy. And then I was doing Karen's, and I was like, oh, this is the way it is in the picture. Well, Karen's right-handed and Katie's
There you
left-handed.
go.
I'm leaving it.
I did that on purpose.
I mean, you're a very adapted lefty. But...
Yeah, I'm pretty ambidextrous with a lot of things, but I appreciated that she had that note.
Have you guys noticed that there's a little bell here?
No.
Okay, so
is that to like subscribe or?
Yes, this is on Instagram.
Subscribe.
It's not so much about
That's
subscribing.
just where your notifications are now, isn't it?
No,
she's
I
looking
meant
at
SoTech.
someone's-
I meant looking at SoTech Handmade.
The new
and
Instagram update is I hate it. I hate
okay,
it.
but this bell lets me know why I'm not getting any notifications, why I don't see her stuff.
But I
So it gives me
I'm
the
on Super
opportunity.
Buzzy, but I get theirs.
Some things, like I
That's
said,
true.
they just get lost. Like
Yeah.
if you follow a lot of people, you tend to miss things.
It is true.
Okay, and the last thing I finish is actually going to be a segue into the next topic, which is the topic of the episode, which we're already an hour and 15 minutes into, so we'll just jump right in. So, my idea for the first episode of 2021, aka the last one we record in the year of 2020.
In the between time.
Yes. I thought it would be fun to talk about our top 3 favorite projects that we have made this year. So things that we finished that stand out that are our favorite things. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the duffel bag that I made for James for Christmas. So this is the So 4, like the number 4 home, So 4 home classic safari duffel is the name of the pattern. It's a free pattern on their website. I've made it. This is, I think, the 3rd one I've made. And I made it for James for Christmas because he has asked me for ever since I made the one for me 2 or 3 years ago that he wants one. So I finally made one for him. And the green fabric, it's like an olive drab, is from an old army cot that belonged to my grandpa. So my dad stripped the canvas off of it and gave it to me and said, make James a duffel bag out of this.
It's in
That is
such
what makes it so
good
awesome.
shape.
So
Your
my
grandpa
grandpa liked to
always-
collect a lot of things. So he probably had a lot of these
Okay.
cots.
It's
Yeah, somebody
not-
else said, that doesn't look like it was
It's
used.
not the way I imagined the fabric to look.
So I have 2 different, I might have 3 different cots of fabric worth of canvas that my dad snagged for me. One of
Nice.
them is much more heavy duty and it has a stamp on it that says like
Ooh.
U.S. issued Army or something like that.
But
Nice.
isn't that the great thing about repurposing fabric?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never thought about looking for vintage fabric when you go thrift store shopping or anything like that. But
I wouldn't have thought of it except that my dad gave it to me and he was like, oh, this was your grandpa's. And I was like, okay, cool. And he has asked me, my dad, ever since, have you made James that duffel bag? Have you made James that duffel bag? He also gave me like these straps with like these really hardcore metal hardware that he wanted me to use for the straps. He had this whole thing designed in his head.
Oh,
and I was like, are
well
you going to
done,
sew this, Dad?
mister. Yeah, well done.
I did not use
sir.
those straps because they were way too heavy duty and my machine couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have enough fabric for the sides to all be the same, so they have contrasting
Looks fantastic.
pockets on the
it's
sides.
fantastic.
I also had to do a little creative piecing because it was like all that I could do to fit all the pieces I needed out of this one piece of fabric. But I gave it to James for Christmas and he loved it, and I still have some, well, I have the other cot of like an olive, the more hardcore like olive drab fabric from my grandpa, and then I also have a tan, like canvas colored cot's worth of fabric.
Wow.
So I could make, no, actually I might have used the canvas colored one for something. I don't know.
Do you need to make one for your dad?
Probably.
Is that part of?
I think so.
Is that part of his
Yeah.
like seed planting?
When we had Christmas, my family was at my house, and I was sitting on the stairs because it's kind of like out of the fray because there were kids around, and
Sometimes it's just too many people.
so from where my dad was sitting and where I was sitting, he couldn't see James open his present. So I was like, James, go get the duffel bag and show it to my dad to prove that I made it so he can stop asking me about the duffel bag. So I finished it, and he loved it, and he was very excited, and he was like, finally you made this for me. And I was like, shut up. I know.
I think what you mean to say is thank you.
Yeah.
He probably said thank you first and then finally.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure,
but the words you need to stop with are
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah. Like it's where you end your stories that gets you in trouble sometimes.
Yeah.
My husband had a bag dreamed up that I've never made for him, and he has since lost interest in me making it him. He had this daydream for a customized medicine bag style or doctor's bag, and that he could take to magic tournaments, and how all the cards would be divided, where you'd store the mats, and how we could turn it into a convertible backpack, because walking through those convention centers,
needs a sewing machine.
right. So I bought the fabric, and it was kind of thing where like life was so busy. It's like, here's your birthday present is this fabric and the promise of making this someday. Yeah, so the tube of the like roll of vinyl is never leaving my garage.
Yeah.
It'll be some other things, I think.
Yep.
Now I'm thinking I have a roll of purple vinyl in my garage.
If I ever figure out how to get that
I
industrial
was saying
sewing machine
Kaity
that I've
needs it
got.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, if we can figure out, if it's just got a motor the size of my head that
It's
kind of
kinda scary
freaks me
looking.
out.
Yeah.
So, but it's
Don't
practical.
sew your finger with that, guy.
No.
Oh gosh, that'll go through bone.
Yeah.
But
I kept trying this week.
but that would be the thing to use on the heavy duty canvas, and we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out and I'll teach you, and you guys can teach me how to use the serger machine.
It's probably so much easier to use a serger than that scary machine.
Shall we do round robin again?
Yeah, so that was my number one, was the duffel bag.
All right.
I had a nice time making it because I enjoyed the construction of it. When I put together bags like that, it's kind of like a puzzle because you got all these little pieces and it's fun to put together. And I also got to think about my grandpa when I made it, and I think he would have thought that it was cool, so I enjoyed that. That's why it made one of my top 3 for 2020. So,
well, it's very impressive. James is very lucky.
Yes. I'm going to remind him of that.
Every day. Does it have like a prominent shelf it can just be on?
No, I pulled it out from the bottom of my closet today to take it here.
Maybe you should put up like a shelf. You know, like go to Target, get those little shelf things, little L brackets.
Get a little spotlight.
Yeah. A little placard that said, made by me, December 2020.
Yes.
Yeah. You're not allowed to use it. Sorry,
no.
it's a display item.
Okay, and you're gonna get a little plexiglass square to go over it.
Well, doesn't he collect things
put in
like
an
that
alarm
already?
system. Put in an alarm system so that
infrared lights.
I've got to see that camera. I saw that you were eyeing it. Just please step away from the display.
What do you need a duffel bag for right now? You can't go anywhere.
That's right.
You ain't taking that camping.
All right, we're gonna reverse the circle. It's Karen's turn.
I already talked about the things that I finished.
Top 3.
Were the things I just finished.
Okay, of all of 2020, of all the sweaters you made,
I didn't complete very much. Okay, Gramps Revive, the first one.
Okay, that's your number. That's one of your 3.
That's one of my 3. I'm
the
really
pink one.
that salmon pink one.
Which,
I love it. I'm
to
wearing
remind our listeners, that was from our challenge where we each bought
a
Flamingo.
A little more than a year ago.
October 2019.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What babes we were.
How little we knew back then.
Thinking, let's do this next October.
That would have been fun.
That would have been great.
It would have been.
Okay. Maybe it's not always just something that I finished, but something I learned. Sometimes it's the fun, the thing you're proud of is the thing you learned while you're doing it. One of the things I'm proud of is I learned how to be a poll worker. You know, how to help with people voting.
That's a project.
You know, that is something I got to be a part of the system that helped others to also be a part of the system.
That's awesome.
Of voicing their opinion. So
okay, that's
not voicing opinion, but you know what I mean. Okay,
we know what you mean.
Okay, somebody else take turn. We're not doing all 3, right? We're just doing one at a time.
One at a time.
Okay.
So I have something for each of my main making categories. So the first one is the scrapper cardies that I made, designed by Drunk Knitter, which someday I will learn her name. Anybody?
No, I can't.
I have
think
a
of it.
T-shirt. I have her shirt. It's
and
fantastic.
like we say the same things each time.
I picture her in my mind.
She's so cute.
As soon as you say
I
her name,
know what her name
I'll
is.
go. Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna look it up right now. Bear with me, everyone.
Oh,
Sophia.
Sophia.
Doesn't say her full name, but she's adorable and she's a very good designer. She taught for Vogue Knitting Live. If you ever want to be a test knitter for her, her test knitting, you kind of sign up and it's sort of an open join in when you can.
That's awesome.
So I have my scrapper cardie right here. It's been one of them. It's my second one. It's been keeping me warm.
It's almost like a robe. Like you just throw it on and you're so cozy.
But you look tiny.
Oh yeah, you look so much better than wearing a robe.
My formal work environment. So I've made 2. The other one is kind of like, it's not a wild ride of colors. It has a clear transition, but it's like I can wear it with blue things, purple, yellows, autumn colors. So that's the first one. And then this one is reds and pinks, and it has like this cool sunset thing happening. Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
I do intend to make one of those someday.
I have a third one. And it's just so wearable.
You amaze me. Usually I make a sweater and I'm done. I'm moving on.
I know.
This is why making a second Gramps is kind of a big deal to me. So the fact that, but you always make at least 2 of anything.
No,
pretty much.
It's sort of new this year for me to do repeats.
Really?
Yeah, I'm usually a one and done.
I'm pretty sure you did something.
I think she would know.
She would know. She would know.
It feels to me, of my own observing my inner journey, that I am generally drawn to making something one time. But this year I have been revisiting things that I've enjoyed, and maybe that's the comfort of the known. You know,
and that might be
that is true.
I think that's something that we've all
that could
learned
just be
more. 2020, I've
That
heard a
could
lot
just
of
be a
people.
phenomenon of this year.
I've heard a lot of people say, "Wow, that was really enjoyable and comforting. I kind of want to stay in this
Or sometimes
comfy
it's like,
place
I don't
and
want
do
to
this
think
again."
too hard. I could just make another one of these.
Yeah. And maybe like
And that has its own reward.
Yeah. One thing I observed about my attraction to it again, first of all, it can be a stash buster, but it's also just a cool pattern to just see how a combination of yarns comes together. So it's not exactly a fade, but you fade your colors together. So my next one is greens that I kind of acquired while traveling, mostly on one trip, but then I'll need a blue one.
Yeah.
So I can even see like a fourth one in my
It would be
future.
really cool to do like a gray tone.
Yeah.
Black and white
Ooh, I could wear
grays.
that a lot.
That would be cool.
Maybe there's
that'd be a
three
business
more.
suit one.
Yeah, maybe there's three more in my future. But it
Like a grayscale.
yeah, ooh, that's a great idea. It's that's outside my usual choices, so I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah.
It's a great pattern. It's approachable for all levels. It would be a great first pattern. I did change the sleeves and plan on keeping those changes on future ones. It's a great pattern. So that I don't know what I learned from that one, but it is.
You don't have to.
I'm
learn
finding.
anything.
Yeah, I'm finding.
Sometimes
now
it's
that
just
it's
about
cool,
enjoying. Not everything has to be edutainment.
tremendous enjoyment from this pattern. I'm looking forward to when I get in the flow that I can get back, because I actually already started the green one. I'm just like very beginning of it. But I'm looking forward to getting back into it. I'm not super excited about anything I have going right now, so maybe I'll pick that up next.
That'd be fun.
So that is my top knitted thing.
Okay.
I did a lot of stranding, but I haven't even blocked those sweaters. So
Yeah, that's a whole other
But
thing.
I'm wearing these scrapper cardies like every day. So
Nice. My second thing, which I inadvertently did the same thing, where I have a knit, a crochet, and a sewing thing. I didn't do that on purpose. My second thing is the wedding afghan that I made for Hannah and Samuel for their wedding. It's convoluted. It's my cousin's husband's brother got married, and his wife Hannah. But Hannah's like one of my favorite people in the whole world. She's so cute. She's like the sweetest person you've ever met. You both have met her because she came here once for a make and take project.
Yeah.
Her and Sam came.
yes.
Oh,
They're
I
so
remember
cute.
that.
So cute.
Oh
I
my
know.
god.
They're my favorite. It's like, not that they would ever split up, but if they did, we're keeping Hannah, and Samuel can like get out because I just love her too much.
Sam's the one you're related to.
Yeah. So they got married this year, and I made them a crocheted afghan out of 5 or 6 colors, and I did a corner to corner blanket, and it was a big project. I mean, it's nothing like that special, except that I know that Hannah's a crocheter, and I know she appreciated it a lot.
The colors were amazing.
The colors were great.
Love
It was
the
like a
colors.
teal, a seafoam green, like a harvest gold, brown, and like a off-white, I think, were the 5 colors. But it was fun to put together, and it was a satisfying project because those corner-to-corner blankets are easy. You don't have to think. They're very fun because they happen so quickly. And I just really enjoyed it. There's a picture on my Instagram if you want to see what it looks like, but that's my number 2.
I might have taken your tiny balls out of the trash.
Oh, my leftover?
Yeah, and I added it to my ongoing scrap again.
You know, the blue, the like teal blue of that blanket, I had a second ball of it, and that's the blue that became the VW pillow.
Ah.
I had another ball in my stash.
Nice. Very nice.
Okay, Karin?
I realize I did do a lot of sweaters this year, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
So I talked before about a knitted thing. So talking about a crochet thing is of course it's not in my office anymore. It's in my car.
Of course.
I'm trying to find it.
Should we pause? I mean, you want to just go grab it?
No,
We'll talk about it.
Okay, I'm looking for it. I'm looking in my Ravelry library, and of course, in fact, I know I've got more than 3.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
It's in my car, so it's bigger.
It
than
could be bigger than a bread
I'm
box.
trying to
Yes.
play 20 questions.
Is it?
Oh
Is it smaller than a slice of bread?
no, it fits a body.
Does it weigh
fits a
more
body.
than a duck?
It could actually. It could.
Does it weigh more than a swan?
Oh, I have no idea what a swan
I don't
weighs.
You
know
know what?
either.
I've never gotten close enough to swans because
They're
they're
too
mean.
scary.
They're mean.
So you crocheted a sweater, and we're
I
trying to
crocheted
figure
a
out the name
sweater.
of it.
Yes, it's a crocheted,
Excuse me.
and of course, how come when I this,
Okay,
oh, this
I'm
are all
racking my
resources.
brain. Oh,
Is it the one
is it
with
the heavy one?
That's like kind of like a poncho-y thing, and it's light blue. Is
No.
it that one?
Oh no, I'm thinking of like
That one's nice,
brown
though.
and textural.
It's brown and it looks like leaves.
Yeah.
Shapes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're
That
talking about.
Yeah, and
was
I'm looking at my library, and of
stunning.
course I cannot find. Okay, just give me a moment.
Is it
Someone else talk.
11 made or 11 something? She does a lot of things like that, so that's why I'm thinking of her.
I think that's the designer, and it might be called the leaf yoke sweater. Aha!
It's so
We're getting
pretty.
there.
I
Leaf-
remember.
I think it's a.
How come you're not living in that right now? It is 41-degree weather sweater.
It is totally 41 degree leave home. How when you try to type something into your phone, yoke. I put in yoke and it said home. I was like, no, okay.
Okay,
It's
this is a
called the
side
leaf
thing.
yoke sweater.
Speaking
Yeah.
of yokes, to give you time to
Yeah.
search, I found this ramen thing on Instagram, and you see all these like wild cooking videos.
Uh-huh.
So this one's so easy. You make your bag of ramen in a low saucepan.
That's it.
All right.
The leaf yoke sweater.
Then okay, you make your ramen. Then you make a little nest and you crack an egg in the middle of it.
Uh-huh.
And then you take a slice of American cheese, cut it in triangles, and put on either side of the egg yolk.
Okay.
And it all melts together, and the yolk oozes through the ramen. It's amazing.
Why are we talking about ramen?
Oh, she said yolk.
Yoke.
So,
Y-O-K-E.
yeah, no, I know. I got it. But
I guess the yoke's
the
on
I
you.
just wanted to follow that train. I thought
the homonym.
That's really funny.
The leaf
It's
yoke
so good, though, guys.
sweater.
That sounds great.
It's really good. And fast. I'm going to have it for breakfast tomorrow.
I'm gonna find the designer by Natalia Kononova. It's a crocheted and it is gorgeousness and it's really fun to make. It's really engaging.
Very
It's
cute.
And I made it
gorgeous.
with
It was
I
something
made it out of a
really
worsted.
nice.
I made it out of linen quill worsted.
yeah, that is
So it's by Pearl Soho.
the yarn.
The yarn's by
The
Pearl
yarn the
Soho.
yarn's by Pearl Soho. It calls for worsted weight. And I did it in a kind of it was
Chestnutty kind of color.
yeah, except it was called peach.
Oh,
Peach
Peach
Pit.
Pit.
Not
Yes,
peach.
That's
I
right, Peach
remember.
Pit.
It's
That's
the
right.
color of a peach pit.
Yes,
That's right. It's a color of a peach.
The stone
color-
of the stone fruit.
Yes.
Peach. That's what it was. It was.
Yes.
It was called something stone or peach
So,
stone, and which is literally what that was.
I don't know if it's still on sale, but Pearl Soho was having like 20%. I needed something. I needed a little bit more of their tussock,
Uh-huh.
and all their brand was 20% off this
Uh-oh.
week.
That's
Uh-oh.
dangerous.
I put so many things in my shopping cart and then said, "Stop it." No. And then I bought what I needed. But it was tempting to like get a sweater's worth of linen quilt.
Oh yeah.
They had what's the big wool? Is that what it's called? The nice that nice chunky
Yeah.
yummy wool that's like
Good
feels like good wool that's like fingering weight but it reads as DK. Anyway,
Yeah.
$10.50?
It's like 300 and something yards.
383
Wow.
yards.
Yeah, that's tempting.
And then they had this neon lightning bolt yellow, I think is what it's called.
Love it.
Of the tussock
Oh.
for $11.50 a hank. I had a whole sweater dreamed up. No.
No.
I
no
only
fun.
bought what I needed.
Window shopping like that and putting things in your cart is really fun at the time, but it's really sad when you have to close the window and walk away.
If-
But it was good that I did.
Yeah, but they save your window for a while.
Yeah. Well, no.
and then
it was,
they email you, are you sure you don't want to
Yeah.
buy these things?
Okay,
but it was good that I stopped and walked away because I really didn't need that sweater's worth.
Yeah,
But I wanted it.
sure.
okay. What I don't like is when you did buy the thing, but like you walk away, but then you come back and you start a new cart. For somewhere along the line, they still save your cart, and even though
Mhm.
you have your receipt that you bought what was in your cart, they're like, "Are you sure you don't want to buy it?" I'm like, "I bought it already. Leave me alone." And I'm not buying more. But
So
okay, so linen quill worsted
Mhm.
doesn't seem to have the pilling issue that the linen quill fingering has.
That's good.
Interesting.
Or either that, or maybe because it's in crochet, which is a sturdier stitch.
Yeah, that could be too.
So
Okay,
this
my
whole
second
time
thing.
I've been unwinding
her peach.
Yeah, I had some yarn where I had 2 strands together, but I need to separate them
hate
out.
that.
I hate this. I'm almost done.
You're doing great.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're so close. So
Okay,
close.
what's your number 2?
So in the spirit of granny clusters, my giant Halloween granny square blanket, which is actually technically not finished, but I am so damn close. And that's the point of why it's making my top 3 list, is I have never even come this close to finishing a huge, like one big granny square blanket. I've started so many. I think it was my first crochet project. But once a granny square gets past 10 rounds, I'm like, oh,
yeah.
When will
Even
this
if it's
end?
a blanket, it's just a lot.
Yeah, because you do like this never-ending row, and you've made a half an inch progress. But it was so fun because I was striping a gradient and black, and I just made it through. And I put my dream edgings on it, and it's so, so cute. I have like 1.5 more sides of the pom-pom edging that I've talked about in the past. So I'm counting it.
Yeah. Sure.
So that was a nice achievement to
nice
get so close. And I've already napped under it several times. So it's doing its job already.
My last favorite thing of 2020, I finished in January of this year, which is my Rainbow in the Storm sweater.
Oh my gosh, that was this year?
It was this year. It's my favorite sweater to throw on when I'm at home because it's just so cozy.
It's gorgeous.
So it's a pattern by, I don't remember the designer. It's called Rainbow in the Storm.
You can find it by the name.
Yeah, Google it. So it's a rainbow of colors. You don't have to do a rainbow, but I did a rainbow. Red, kind of like I didn't have a true orange, so it's kind of like a peachy, sherbety, yellow, peach and pink, whatever. A yellow, green, kind of a tealy color, a blue, and a purple at the bottom, and then you hold it with a strand of black for the body, and then there's ribbing at the bottom and along the neckline that's just the black, and the sleeves are just black. But it was a labor of love because of all the 1x1 ribbing.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was such a satisfying knit, I would make another
Those
one.
colors are gorgeous, and I like the black that it's pulled with.
Yeah. I love this sweater. It's one of my favorite sweaters I have made. It's definitely my favorite. I had such grand plans to make 20 sweaters in 2020. No, to make 12 sweaters in 2020. Excuse me. It was only 12. And I did not do anything like that. I can't think of any other sweaters that I finished this year.
You got pretty far.
I would
think
have
you
to
got
look.
4 or 5.
This was the year that it was hard to. There was several months this year that I couldn't focus on doing anything.
It was just
I
a
would
different
start and stop.
Yeah. Okay. So I made this. I finished a second one of my what's the name of that thing? The Strange Brew. I made a second Strange Brew, which was kind of a fail. I need to go back and fix the body because there was like a dye lot issue with the yarn. And then also when I pulled it out, there was a hole in the yoke, in the colorwork yoke, like right in the front.
Oh.
So I kind of put that sweater in timeout, and someday I'll fix it. I knitted the very V-neck raglan, and I made the what was the knit along we did? The Wave of Change jacket, which was also a fail.
Made a baby sweater.
Oh wait, and I made another one. That super bulky triple strand DK weight.
I think you're at 6 because there's a baby sweater in there.
Is there a baby sweater?
I remember because you were like, "Am I gonna count this?"
Yes, there is. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4.
A sweater is a sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Size matters.
So there's
not.
6 sweaters in 2020 and not 12. But
considering this year,
yeah, I know
you did
I'm
good.
still
Still
sad
an
about it,
accomplishment.
but I do love my Rainbow in the Storm.
It
was a great way to kick off this year because I've worn it a lot this year.
That color is amazing, and the drape it looks super cozy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those are my 3 things.
I made a lot of sweaters this year, but I don't think I got to 12.
Yeah,
I did. I think I'm like at 10 or something. All right, it's your turn.
This was the year for finishing quilt tops.
Nice.
Wow.
Not finishing quilts,
Quilt
but
tops.
finishing the
Different thing.
tops.
Yeah, that is different.
I think I did like 4 quilt tops.
Wow.
Now, one of them smaller, but it was a lot of piecing, a lot of foundation paper piecing. And it was a baby blanket that I made just a little bit bigger by adding curved pieces into. And then mostly because there's a quilt that I want to get started. and I cannot get started until I finish the top. And so, yeah, and one of them that I finished is like 106 by 106.
Oh,
Wow.
holy
That was
guacamole.
that was the My Wheelhouse medallion.
Uh-huh.
But the fabric is so big and pretty. So yeah,
Maybe that could be my like fake goal for 2021, because I have like several quilt tops started or in mind. Like I signed up for a quilt along where you get like one a month of this cool quilter, and
I did that once.
yeah, and the package, it was actually supposed to come as one kit, but because of supply issues, he's been sending them monthly, which I feel bad about because it's a lot more postage, right? And the packages come. My daughter's like, "What's the package, Mom?" And I just, here's another envelope. It's not even making it here to the studio.
Did you know the colors ahead of time, or was it a mystery?
It's not a mystery. I don't think it was. Yeah, I think I saw. No, he sent you like the color palette. And
okay.
Like you could figure out the color palette before you signed up, I think.
I did one,
but I
that
like
was
all
a
of this guy's
mystery,
stuff.
and I
It's
didn't like
art
any of the
piece.
colors. So after number 2 quilt block 2, I still have all the others are still in their pretty little packages.
See, like a knit or a crochet mystery thing, you could start with your own colors.
Yeah.
No, like I like this guy's stuff. It's Art East Quilts, and he does all these like very cute graphic creatures and animals doing funny things and stuff. But anyway, enough of that. My actual share is I made these shorts for my daughter. The pattern is called the Vero Beach Set.
I remember that.
I made her these 3 little cute shorts out of the smallest size. They fit her perfectly. And the reason this is making the list is these shorts have something that have always been a mystery to me. It's so simple. It's that cute little petal hem on running jogging short kind of style.
Kind of like a little scallop.
Yeah, the cute little.
Oh yeah,
where the 2 sides,
like a 70s pair, like
a
very
retro 70s
yeah.
shorts.
Think I
There's
like
a
short
word for
shorts.
that.
Yep. And
disco shorts.
Well,
they're more like gym class shorts.
Yeah,
but these are pretty.
Oh yeah,
well,
not like
the designer is Hey June Handmade. The pattern comes with a cute like.
I thought you made those. No.
Yeah, I made them.
Oh yeah.
We're talking about our favorite things we make.
Yeah.
This year.
Oh yeah. Where have I been?
I don't know.
Wake up, Karin.
It's a very well written pattern. It comes with a cute little like boxy hoodie that you wear to a surfer would wear to the beach, or you could get made out of blanket material. I might make that for my son actually. The shorts are so cute, and it all just came together so beautifully. And learning how you make that hem and side seam come together with a little side pocket was
just one of those little aha moments where like, oh, that wasn't as hard as I thought it would be.
Yeah, like I have these really cute pajama shorts I've had cut out for like 2 years, I think. And they have that cute little, petal hem or however you want to call it. And I've been putting it off because that hem was so confounding until I made these cute little shorts.
Does she wear them?
Occasionally.
Well, there you go.
She and I are gonna have to have a powwow about like, mommy makes you things, you think they're great when I present you with them, and then you never wear them. So
I'm gonna stop making you things.
Where's the disconnect?
Yeah. It's all about the excitement of something new.
This is you guys know Marabella. These fabrics are her.
Yep,
totally.
It's like Lisa
it's
Frank
actually
unicorns.
all fabrics she chose.
Yeah.
So it's
she
not
should wear them every day.
Like I'm just pulling things out of the air that I think she'll like. She chose these fabrics.
It reminds me of a quote from the book that we're reading, which
I love this book. It's very good.
There's a part where
I'm listening it to at 1.15 though, because it is a little slow.
I'm at like 1.3 speed.
I think I started to do 1.5, but the audiobook does not follow along at the same pace that like the highlighter does. So the highlighter is off sync. So I'm back at 1%, but I'm so mesmerized. That's all I'm listening to.
I don't really want to do it fast.
The name of the book is A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor tolls if you wanted to
Oh.
know what we were talking about.
You mean
Yeah.
immortals?
Yes. Okay, so
So
we should wrap
yeah.
up.
Okay.
So let's talk about
What if we had just say one project resolution for the new year?
I don't want to do that.
No, I'm not making
No.
any resolutions for 2021.
Great suggestion.
I've seen
I
like the
just
memes
don't trust
that were
myself.
like,
My resolution's easy because I already bought the fabric.
Okay.
So
I have something in my heart, but I'm never going to say it aloud until
you don't want to
the
ruin
end of 2021, and I'll share what it was if I did it.
okay.
Cool.
I've seen these memes that are like going into 21. It's like nobody make any sudden movements. Don't touch anything. We're all just gonna be nice and quiet and see what happens. No, don't scare it.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, don't scare it. Don't scare it away. I'm
Well,
not making any resolutions.
It's time for obsessions.
Yes. What are you
Very
obsessed with?
quickly. I have 2 Instagram accounts I am completely obsessed with.
Okay.
Chelsea Hart is me.
Okay.
She is this comedian. I guess she lives in the UK right now. She's lived all over the world. She is hilarious.
Mhm.
I came across her. She had a reel that said, like somebody's quote from a comment on her stream. It said punchable. And then she found the guy's account and she's like, who's gonna do it? Is it you with those little tiny arms? And she like found his account, showed his arms.
That's hilarious.
She's like, careful you don't hurt yourself with that swinging far above your reach or something like that. She's so hilarious. She just says great things for women everywhere. Because she's a comedian, she responds to these shitty comments like she would a heckler, and
That's
it's
awesome.
gold.
That's awesome.
It's pure gold. My other Instagram account I'm excited about is called Adventures in Jelly. And it's so good, guys. Okay, so you know about my love of the cranberry log.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Adventures in Jelly.
Oh my god.
It's are you looking?
Yep.
It's this person who has
Antique jelly mold collector.
and so I found this, and she makes them dance. And
Oh my
usually,
gosh!
like,
Oh my
10,
god! I didn't
right?
know about it.
Right? Like, that's one of my favorites. It's like,
so
Wait, is that actually moving?
They're like,
or
well,
little
you just
moles that are
jiggle it,
jiggling.
right?
You just
And so
I am. Oh my.
they just
This is
pulsate
I feel like
and they
it's
dance. I know. I love it so
I'm
much,
gonna follow
guys.
this.
Oh my god.
Right away.
It
Wait,
makes me happy.
wait. It's called Adventures in Jelly.
Adventures in Jelly. Every time it pops up in my feed, I'm like
That's
giggling. I'm happy. I'm
amazing.
gathering people around me. So if you just need
That's
some
so
joy in your life,
funny.
Adventures in Jelly.
That's an incredible follow. Thank you for
You
that.
are very welcome.
I love
She
it.
did like some ornaments and stuff in
Oh,
clear
that's
gelatin,
awesome.
and they were very pretty,
Mhm.
but they don't dance well. So
Wow.
She has a swan, a jelly swan.
that's
This
so
is
pretty,
so
right?
funny.
Yeah, and it's cool to see the vintage molds.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I had
It's very much second.
my
That's
gra-
so pretty, right?
with the ornaments.
Nothing to do with jelly.
No.
but
but it's in a Jello mold.
yeah.
I had a
So
bunch of
funny.
these that were like fish shaped, all the copper ones.
like-
My grandmother,
like butter molds. Or-
no,
like,
it was giant. It was like a giant, like a like you would make a meat Jello kind of
Oh,
thing.
an
They call it
aspic?
terrine, an aspic.
Mm-hmm.
And you would one was like fish shaped, and another one was just like a flower shaped. My grandmother, my grandmother had those for the longest
Oh,
time.
that
I
sounds
wish
so
I had saved
cool.
them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you
can
would have them.
That's okay. I like watching this other person do this.
She only has 4,000 followers. She should have more
She
than
should
that.
have all the followers.
All the follow Adventures in Jelly. That's so funny.
Dante likes it too because he's my other cranberry
Oh,
can
he's
mold.
great,
Yeah. But he doesn't like the opaque white jellies. But whatever.
Okay.
That's your problem,
Keep
kid.
scrolling.
Yeah.
My favorite is coffee Jello.
That
Oh,
sounds
I've never-
delicious.
I've made
Jello.
you make a with a non-flavored non-flavored
gelatin.
gelatin,
Plain gelatin.
and you instead of hot water you're adding hot coffee
Mhm.
with a little bit of sugar, and then
That's
you make
amazing.
a separate one with whipped cream and the gelatin, and you cut them in cubes and you mix them, and it's like
That sounds
a
amazing.
refreshing latte.
Except
love
it's
that.
opaque jello, so I don't think Dante's in.
Mm.
Anyway, obsessions? Anyone else?
Do you have one?
I'm obsessed with Star Trek Discovery. I
Okay.
am totally
I like it, and I'm the only one in my house.
I love
It's
it.
just pure critique of it.
That-
in my
okay, that-
household,
okay,
and
and-
it makes me want to punch them all.
I'm I'm obsessed with watching that. But actually, we started watching a show called Bridgerton.
I just
keep
started
seeing
it. It's
something about that.
amazing. You
And
guys,
now I think it's
Katie, you'll love
amazing.
it.
Okay.
You will love
My
it.
mother-in-law, it throws her off because, and she won't say it out loud, but it bothers her that there
Shonda
are.
Rhimes is the producer.
It
It's gonna include
bothered
everyone,
it-
and I
I
love
love it. I love it that you're seeing the queen, and she's a black woman, and you're seeing royalty, and there's not a racial issue, and for her it throws her off because she's thinking it's a historical thing,
Right.
and this doesn't follow history. But I love the
It's so I've
the
only watched
stories.
the
We're on,
first half of the first episode because it was bedtime.
we got through
But
the first two episodes.
I would have
And-
stayed up all night, but I was already shorting myself on sleep.
This is my absolute favorite thing by Shonda Rhimes.
Wow.
Absolute. I mean, Grey's Anatomy got to be too much for
I
me,
don't-
but
never
Yeah.
like that. But I like lots of other things she's done.
but yeah. Anyway,
Never like Grey's
that was my
Anatomy.
obsession, Katie.
I found a YouTube channel called Royalty Soaps.
I
I like to collect hobbies that I'm not going to do, which is one of them is soap making, like from scratch
I
with
was
oil.
thinking soap
I've
opera.
done it.
No.
I've done it. It's not cheap.
No, with like the lye
Oh my
and,
gosh.
and the
I thought you were
oils
gonna say it's
and
not hard.
no.
It's not, but
There's
it's.
I've learned much from
I didn't
Royalty
do it with
Soaps.
Eliza. I just
This
did
girl's name is Katie, and
Ah!
she makes these
Doppelganger.
beautiful soaps. And I'm never going to be a soap maker, but I enjoy watching her videos of her teaching me how to make soap. And maybe no, I'm not going to do it. I
No.
can't let myself go down that path because it's a lot of things. So I would recommend her videos. She's funny, and her soaps are really fun. And I would like to. And she has an Etsy, like a pretty not an Etsy shop, like a business website where you can buy from her. So maybe I'll just indulge in some
Nice
of her
soaps.
soaps. But they're very fun to watch.
Yeah, I want to be obsessed with skincare, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to like work on that. But the videos get so boring.
You can't force an obsession like that
Well, it's like actually it's a habit I want to improve.
to develop. Okay.
I have a YouTuber you should follow.
Obsession. I think you can. Have you ever seen Clockwork Orange?
No.
Those of you who have, I'm sure, are picturing the moment I'm talking about.
Follow on YouTube. Follow Still in Luck.
Okay, I'll write it down.
He has these great skincare things. He's a delight to watch. Even if you don't do any of the things he does, just listen to him.
Okay,
He's adorable.
like Brad, what's his face with the hair? I like
Mondo.
watching him. I love watching Brad Mondo.
Yeah, he's
And
fun to watch.
I mean, I'm such a sucker when he's like, "You're so beautiful today," I'm
and
like,
you're like, thank you,
"Thank
Brad.
you."
While I'm
So
lying
are
in my
you.
bed looking like a potato. I'm like, Brad, you can't see through my computer.
You look good too today, Brad.
Oh my god.
Did we hit the 2-hour mark?
We are at 1 hour and 53 minutes.
Oh,
so-
we can talk for 7 more
No,
minutes.
I want to go to bed. Okay.
Okay, good night. Me too, actually.
See you all in the new year, and we are doing the book, which we talked about. I'm a Gentleman in Moscow. That episode will come out in 2 weeks.
And I'm
So-
really, really happy that they like it.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
didn't say anything about it.
No.
I will
What
reserve my
somebody
judgment
likes.
for when we talk about it in 2 weeks.
I like it.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night. Happy New Year.